You may have seen this before. You may have encountered this this before in other teachings of mine or of other people that do very similar work. Okay, so here, let's imagine that this is your head. So here is the conscious mind, and here is the subconscious mind. I'm going to go into this a lot more, okay, over the coming weeks. So the conscious mind, let's just call that the thinking mind. It's the logical mind. It's the analytical mind. It makes decisions. Okay, it's very objective. It makes decisions. Okay, the subconscious mind is the feeling mind. Okay, so you could say it's the feminine principle. So the subconscious is masculine. The conscious is masculine. The subconscious is feminine. So the subconscious is feeling. So we are thinking as a conscious mind. It's objective. It's directional. It tells you what you want to think, what you want to go after, what it looks like to imagine it. Now, the subconscious mind is the receptive. Okay, the receptive element. Receptive is the feminine. Receptive is feeling. Okay, it is really subjective. So subjective is how does it feel? Inside the subconscious mind, or the subconscious mind does not judge. No judgment. Okay. So whatever you feed, whatever seed you plant in here in the subconscious mind, there is no rejection of it. There is no judgment of it. It just is. It will accept anything, any seed that you plant there. So that is why we must be conscious of what we put out by way of how we think and how we feel, conscious of what we imagine, conscious of what we desire and what we maintain and give our attention and focus to. All right. So I'm going to cover that in a lot more detail in upcoming little mini lessons. But for right now, I just want to make sure that you're aware and that you are across that the subconscious mind is feeling, because this is going to actually help to answer Catalina's question and potentially yours as well. All right. So subconscious is feeling. Let's go to the next part. Okay. No, I don't want to review you right now. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's say here. So Catalina's question, and I'll let you go into the Q&A and section and read that for yourself. But essentially, due to trauma, there's been a disassociation, the body from reality. So essentially, there is a shutdown that occurs at the neurological level, at the physiological level, the emotional level, the spiritual level, the energetic level. Okay, so let's just say here's the body, and the body is, if I can spell shut down from trauma. Okay, so trauma could be anything. You know, it could be physical trauma, emotional trauma, mental trauma. It could be something that you experienced as a child or as a young adult or a teen, whatever it may be. It could be something that you experienced a couple of years ago, whatever it may be. It could be the breaking up of a relationship, it could be bankruptcy, it could be, you know, an abuse or some sort of, you know, real physical, mental, spiritual event or stimulus that created such a nervous system disruption. Okay, so the nervous system was flooded with information, and the nervous system essentially got fried. Okay, because if it stayed online and it stayed available, then there's either a nervous breakdown, there's a shell shock that occurs, and so the whole nervous system of the body goes into a recovery mode, it goes offline. Okay, offline. So I just want to put it out there, and I should have said this at the beginning, I am not a psychotherapist. I'm not a doctor of any kind regarding the mind. I am a physiologist by trade. However, this information that I share with you has come through me and been part of my work in mindset, in spirituality, in consciousness, in physical healing for the last 3 decades. Okay, so I just want to put that caveat out there that take what you want and leave the rest. Take what gels with you and you feel vibrates a truth for you and leave the rest. Okay, but I am not a psychological professional, so please see someone that is aligned with that should you feel you need the help. Okay. So overall, we've got a shutdown from trauma. The nervous system is overloaded, it's fried, and it actually goes offline. It goes into hermit phase, and you may actually have experiences or sensations that you are unaffected. Okay. So you think, oh, look, I'm unaffected by anything. I'm actually emotionally unavailable. So people try and love you or show you compassion or show you joy or want to be around you or even engage in a physical relationship with you, and you are shut down, you are unaffected. So you tend to, your body stays offline because you tend to stay in imagination. So you tend to stay in the head, okay? So just a little bit of a backstory. Okay, so remember, if we are shut down, if the body is shut down and we are afraid, or you can use whatever term you want, afraid to feel, because the last time I felt anything, it hurt really bad. The last time I felt anything like love or appreciation or gratitude or vulnerability or the sexual impulse or whatever it is, that's where the trauma was, right? So I'm afraid to feel again. So I've gone into a hibernation. Now, keeping in mind what I said here at the beginning is that the subconscious mind is all about feeling. So the subconscious is what creates your results. It is 90 to 95% of the engine room. It is the driving force behind what you manifest and therefore experience in the outside world, in the world of matter, in the material world, the world that you can see with your physical eyes. So if I am shut down and I cannot feel because of trauma or because of sadness or because of depression or because of anxiety and I'm afraid to feel because the last time I felt anything, it brought about a sensation of pain, then my subconscious mind is going to be operating inefficiently. Okay, it's not going to be operating for me in such an efficient way to produce better future results. Because remember, the subconscious is the long-term tape player. This is long-term memory. Conscious mind is short-term memory. So if I want to change my outside world, I must give enough new information by way of feeling, seeding that in the subconscious mind and rehearse it over and over and over again. And therefore the outside world becomes the fruit of the seeds that I planted and gave attention and energy to in my subconscious mind. So when I go back here and I think about I'm shut down from trauma, or it could be a breakup of a relationship, it could be something that was a death in the family, whatever it may be, then essentially my reality remains frozen in time. Does that make sense? So I'm frozen in time. So because my nervous system cannot receive any new information, and it cannot, so let's say that this is your nervous system, okay? And here's you, but my nervous system cannot receive any new information because it is shut down, and it can't receive any new upgrades from the field. Just call it the field, the quantum field, source, intelligence, God, universal mind, infinite intelligence, intelligent infinity, whatever you want to call it. There's no new information being received. So when there's no new information being received, then what is circulating inside my nervous system, inside my body, is the same information. And the same information then is used by the subconscious mind to go out and to create your reality. Are there any penny drops right now? Any little bomb drops for anyone? Like, this looks like a total mess. Okay, it looks like a total mess on purpose because I'm not receiving any new information. My body is frozen in time. I'm offline from receiving new information. Therefore, I'm using the same information over and over and over and over again in order to create what I think and feel is a new reality. And I get frustrated because a new reality is not being birthed outside of me because no new information is being received by my subconscious mind. Okay, so if you need to go back over this and rewatch it, please do that. All right. Okay, so now it's essentially the question of how to. How do I go from, afraid to feel, don't know how to feel? This is really what comes down to it. Don't know how. Because I taught myself consciously or unconsciously, I made a decision that I will never feel this way again. Or it was so painful that I went to feeling is not good. So now over the years, I've become accustomed to no feeling or to little feeling, or I find it difficult to imagine, or I find it difficult to feel the full sensation of what I want to experience. So therefore I feel my manifestations are stifled at birth. Does that make sense? So the encouragement here, and this is part one of potentially a few parts that we can discuss over the coming weeks, is to train yourself to feel again. And from my perspective, the first thing to do is to accept and open yourself to feeling. Feeling is okay. Okay. So feeling is okay. I'm allowed to feel. Feeling what it's like to hold a piece of silk. Feeling what it's like to rub my hand across a stone bench top. Feeling what it's like to have warmth from the sun directly on my skin. Feeling what it's like to run cold water over my hands or warm water over my feet, just as examples. So opening and accept open yourself to feeling and saying that it's okay to feel. All right. So the next part is maybe there's a readiness to feel. Am I ready to feel? Am I ready to feel a new reality? Because remember, you create your new reality. So you create your new reality. So you can now condition your subconscious mind with the feelings you want to feel. Therefore, that are connected to the reality that you want to experience. All right. So it's okay to feel, and it's okay to create what I want. So now feeling creates reality. And this is what has always happened, always occurred. Okay, feeling creates reality. So if I feel disassociated, then I think, okay, am I afraid to feel what I want because of fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being let down, fear of making a mistake, feeling fearing that if what I feel comes true, then maybe I'll leave other people behind. Or maybe a decision will be made that I've long wanted to, but was afraid to make it. There's all these fears that come with feeling. Okay. So anytime you want to manifest, you want to create something new. Okay. It comes from feeling. Understand that. So for now, I just encourage you all to sit inside the concept at the beginning. The concept is a mental construct, the concept that feeling creates your reality. And sit with it and ask yourself the question, what am I afraid to feel? Am I afraid to feel my desires? Am I afraid to feel failure? Am I afraid to feel success? Am I afraid to feel my reality in case it's taken away from me? And am I afraid to feel my reality in case I get let down or disappointed? Okay. Or if it's going to be taken away from me, like I said. So now, and I hear this a lot with people that have been through trauma in relationships, trauma in families, trauma in a lot of different ways, but particularly relating to other people. And so now I don't know how to make the money that I want to attract the ease and grace, harmony and freedom and peace in my life because I've tied it to someone else. I've tied it that it must come from outside of me. No. There is no God outside of you that will give you what you want. Now, if that is not a religious undertone, that is a truth. When you think about quantum physics, quantum mechanics, when you think about manifesting, you think about the flow of energy. There is no God outside of you that will give you what you want. It is you. And that is why, if you've heard me in my podcast, it's all you, baby. It's all you. So now to face your fears, the fear of feeling, the fear of desiring something, the fear of moving out of your head, out of this frozen state of being, this confusion, this nervous system overload, this fear of allowing new information to enter my field, to come into my nervous system. When you can start to ask the question, why am I so afraid? And have I got the ability to bring my body back online and back up to an operation, take it out of frozen? So to thaw, that's how you spell thaw my nervous system, to warm it up, to bring it online. Ask yourself that question, because your desires are fulfilled through feeling. Your desires are fulfilled through you believing that what you want is possible for you. And how you do that is through feeling and rehearsing the feeling, so that, as I said here, your subconscious mind that has no judgment and is a 90 to 95% of the operating system, your subconscious mind is the creative pulse. It is the generative. Okay. So I hope that's helped